Guys, we have a big breaking news coming out. Over 70 earthquakes strike massive volcano as 300,000 Americans prepare for eruption. All right, so we're going to get to this one here. We have more breaking news coming out. The big one. Experts are sounding the alarm. If a major earthquake hits the West Coast, it could sink the land in minutes. Not hours, minutes. The entire region will be swallowed by the Pacific Ocean. All right, so we're going to see what's going on with these two breaking news here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the PayPal link and a Cash App link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you so much for your support. Another way to support the channel is through Patreon, and pretty soon it's going to be $5 a month, guys. Again, I mentioned this in my other videos. Patreon is going up. It's not me, it's just the company itself. So everything in the world is going up. So I can understand for those of you that can support the $5 a month, I totally understand. A lot of people is going through a tough time nowadays, but again, just want to keep you guys updated that eventually is going to be $5 a month. It's something that we don't want to do. We want to keep the lowest because it benefits many of you. So again, I truly apologize, guys, but it just everything is going insane right now in the world. Prices is just hitting the roof. Thank you so much for your support. We're going to start with this one first. Mount Spur, a massive volcano located approximately 80 miles from Anchorage, Alaska, has experienced a surge in seismic activity with 73 earthquakes recorded in the past week alone. According to the Daily Mail, the Alaska Volcano Observatory reported on Friday that the volcano remains at an elevated level of unrest, warning that an explosion eruption, could occur in the coming weeks to months. Now, in addition to the significant tremors, countless smaller earthquakes are occurring several times per hour, indicating that magma is rising towards the surface, fracturing surrounding rock and creating intense pressure. Now, we did talk about this a few weeks ago. You have 300,000 Americans. They went out to Walmart, and they got some stuff. They got water, they got food, and they are preparing. They also picked up some N95 mask because when the eruption occurs, you got the debris, the dust, the smoke, the ashes from the volcano. So it's very, very important to make sure that you are stocked up and have the N95 face mask. Beyond seismic activity, AVO scientists have observed steam rising from the volcano and increased gas emission. That's basically evidence of possibly imminent eruption. While ground deformation has slowed over the past month, it had previously intensified in November and December of 2024 before resuming. Now, the AVO noted unrest continues at Mount Spur, though at a lower level than observed in early 2025. While the likelihood of an eruption has decreased since March, the volcano remains at an elevated level of unrest. Experts predict that any eruption would mirror the volcano's past event in 1953 and 1992, which featured explosive bursts lasting several hours. These eruptions produced ash clouds that travel hundreds of miles and deposited up to a quarter inch of ash across the south central Alaska. Each explosive episode is expected to last 3 to 4 hours, potentially blanketing Anchorage, a city of nearly 300,000 residents, and nearby communities with a thick layer of volcanic ash. Now, an eruption would also trigger destructive mudslides and avalanches of volcanic debris, racing down the volcano slope at speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour. How can you escape something like that? And again, this is not even Yellowstone. I mean, Yellowstone is a lot worse than that. But this is the reason why they are urging Americans out there to stock up, to prepare. Now, they are saying that this is not going to impact the population. But the problem here is the ashes that's going to block the sun and just impact people's health. That's why they're all stocking up on N95 masks. An eruption will also trigger destructive mudslides, so we already know that. Fortunately, no communities lie within the immediate danger zone, according to the AVO scientist Matt Haney. With Mount Spur on advisory status since last fall, Anchorage residents are actively preparing for a possible eruption. Stockpiling supplies has become a priority as the city braces for the potential fallout of volcanic ash, now which could disrupt daily life and infrastructure. The eruption impact would extend far beyond Anchorage. A massive ash cloud could force the closure of major transportation hubs, including Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport and potentially Fairbanks International Airport. Such closure would halt all incoming and departing flights, causing widespread delays and cancellation across the country and potentially disrupting the global supply chain. Transportation systems are already scrambling to prepare for the international chaos an eruption could unleash. As Mount Spur continues to rumble, Alaska remains on high alert. While the immediate threat to human life is limited due to the absence of communities near the volcano base, the broader consequences of an eruption could be profound. With Anchorage and its surrounding areas at risk of being blanketed in ash and critical infrastructure facing significant disruption, the region is preparing for a natural event that could reshape daily life and ripple across the globe. So once again, this is a major update. We already talked about this one here, but remember, guys, the earthquake that's going on in Argentina, the earthquake that's happening all over the world, again, especially in the Pacific Ring of Fire, it does causes more and more problems to that volcano up there in Alaska. That volcano does sit in the Pacific Ring of Fire, and it's a dangerous area. I mean, that region gets hit with a lot of earthquake, volcanic eruption, tsunamis, and all that type of stuff. All right, we're going to go with this one here. This was posted on May 2nd, 2025. The big one. The big event. If a major earthquake hits the West Coast, it could sink the land in minutes. New study warns the region is overdue for a major earthquake that could lead to a huge tsunami wave. Once again, guys, please share the video. And these are very important updates by experts. The next major Pacific Northwest earthquake could cause coastal land to sink by up to 6.5 feet in a matter of minutes, a new study has warned. A magnitude, look at that, 8.0 tremor on the Cascadia subduction zone fault will not only risk a tsunami, but also have a devastating impact on coastal communities by massively expanding the flood risk, researchers at the Virginia Tech University say. Man, that day when the 8.0 strikes that region, and the Cascadia, let me show you, the Cascadia is getting hit right now. The Cascadia is getting hit right now. Give me a second here, guys. I truly apologize. So you have that part right there. Earlier today, there was a couple, and it seemed like it passed a 24-hour mark. All right, so all this was filled with earthquake yellow dots. All right, so you got the New Madrid here too. All right, so the big one, well, you guys already know, that's the big one, Argentina. So once again, the Cascadia, there was some earthquake going on in the Cascadia. It seems like it's kind of slowing down now. All right, so a magnitude 8.0 tremor on the Cascadia subduction zone fault would not only risk a tsunami but also have a devastating impact on the coastal communities by massively expanding the flood risk, researcher at the Virginia Tech University say. We could have a event on the scale of Japan 2011 or Sumatra 2004, the study lead Arthur Tina told the Washington Post. It's the same kind of fault. It has the same capability of making a huge earthquake, tsunami, and coastal subsidence. The 9.2, yikes, 9.2 Sumatra earthquake and subsequent tsunami taken more than 227,000 when it struck the day after Christmas, while the 9.1 Tohoku earthquake in Japan has taken more than 18,000. Jeez. 227,000. Wow, that's brutal. And guess what? If we see something like that in the Cascadia, it won't be in 1,000, it will be in the millions. Because the entire region is just going to go down. I mean, everything will fall like dominoes. I don't know if you guys seen the movie 2012. I mean, it won't be like crazy stuff like that. But definitely the land is going to be swallowed by the Pacific. A powerful earthquake on the Pacific Northwest will also mean floodplains, area of land next to rivers or streams that flood when water level rise will be expanded by 116 square miles, the study says. That means that if the big one were to strike today, an extra 14,350 residents, 22,500 structures, and 777 miles of roadway will fall within the post-earthquake flood plain. Facilities: an electrical substation, waste facility, police and fire station, and 5 airports will all potentially be impacted. Farmland will experience heavy economic loss as flooding would render soils unusable, the researchers go on to say. And coastal estuaries and wetlands, which help fight the climate, would erode, impacting the ecosystem they support. Those ecosystems may never recover, the study warns. Wow. It will also affect many facilities. Oh, I read that part. I truly apologize. Oh, man. There's no way to prepare for something like this. Can I build a bunker, Lewis? No, because your bunker would go into the sea. How do you prepare yourself? Well, a lot of people, what they do is they leave. Here's the thing. You cannot run away from all these world events. You can't. Because even in a nice, beautiful day where there's no earthquake or volcanic activity going on in that land, something could happen to you. You could, I mean, anything could happen. You know, death is promised to all of us. So just live your life. But here's the thing: you can't prepare for, what comes to you, like death. But you can prepare yourself spiritually by accepting Jesus as Lord and Savior, because Jesus defeated death. All right, so we don't need no bunkers to hide ourselves in there. Our kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, that's our bunker. All right, so the expansion of the coastal plain following a Cascadia subduction zone earthquake has not been previously quantified, and the impact to land use could significantly increase the timeline to recover, Tina, an assistant professor of geoscience, said in a statement. Now, Dua is the lead author of the earthquake study, which was published Thursday in a journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. The most severe effects would occur in the southern Washington, northern Oregon, and northern California. Now, to reach their conclusion, Doa and her team generated tens of thousands of earthquake models to help estimate the potential range of the sinking. They then quantified the expansion of the floodplain at 24 different communities and estuaries in the area of the fault. They tested the models against the impact of an earthquake, as it could happen today, but also as it may occur in 2100. By then, the climate is expected to already bring sea levels up by up to 4 feet. One thing I tell you guys is that what's coming is coming. There's no stopping it. This is all Bible prophecy events. And yes, the world is changing because the Bible says it will change. And all this, we'll see. Again, mountains will be moved from its place. There's going to be some strong events. And men will try to save it. But again, how can you save something when you yourself are not saved? Notably, a quake of that seismic magnitude has not occurred along the Cascadia zone since January 26, 1700. Now, looking at record from the last 7,000 years, there have been 11 great earthquakes every 200 to 800 years in the Pacific Northwest. The last earthquake in the region resulted in between 1.5 to 6.5 feet of land along the coastline immediately sinking. Cascadia is a unique place. It's not super heavily populated, but most estuaries have a community in them, and they're all right in the zone of subsidence. Now, this is honestly where I think the subsidence could have bigger impact than it has during other recent large earthquakes around the world. All right, so once again, guys, some very important updates here. Here's the final one. A Great Pacific Northwest earthquake could generate tsunami waves up to 40 feet. You know what's 40 feet? That's pretty high. And residents should prepare themselves. You have the tsunami evacuation signs, but they seem more like a novelty than any serious thing. People need to worry about it. All right. So once again, please share the video. And this is where we are right now with the burning mountain and the Cascadia, the big one. All right. So again, the New Madrid is something that people need to talk about too. The New Madrid, I think, is worse than the big one. Because if something happens to the New Madrid, let's say it's a monster earthquake, it will split our sleeping giant into two parts. Just imagine that. Two sleeping giants. It's just not going to look good. And pretty soon we're going to have to build bridges and stuff. But again, I do believe that's going to be during the time of tribulation. Alright guys, this is where we are right now. I got one more video coming up. Check out the ones I posted today. The links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.